So the players voted for captains today, only the players, and they voted for Russ Wilson, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke, and Darius Slayton. Those are the top 5 vote getters, and those will be our 2025 captains.
No special teams, Ken?
Yeah. What we did this year is we said take the five guys. Each player had a sheet with 5 guys on it that you think were the best leaders of the football team, and put them 1 to 5. It was whoever that sorted out to be, that's who it was going to be. And all 5 of those guys were good selections by the players.
You've changed that. It seems like the last few years. What goes into your thinking on that? Like number of captains, how you go about it, maybe.
Yeah. I think every year is different. I think our guys have all been, there's a number of other guys that had got, votes, which is a good thing relative to the leaders in your room, like Chris Manhertz, for example. But those 5 guys got, I'd say a considerable amount of votes, and I thought that was the right thing to do.
What do things say with Theo?
Yeah, anyone who's out here is going to be practicing, and the ones that aren't are getting ready to practice as soon as they can.
Feel good about him being ready though for the regular season?
Just taking it day by day.
Does the fact that you guys didn't keep Dulcich a sign that he is in good shape?
Yeah, I'd say the guys that are out here are practicing, and the other ones are working hard to get back. Like normal.
How did Andrew do yesterday's first pad of practice, right?
Yeah, took some reps. Again, he's day by day. He's getting better every day. Sometimes we pull back off him the next day, but he's doing everything he can do is be as ready as he can be.
Are you feeling good about week 1 at this point?
Yeah, day by day.
Fair to say he's trending in the right direction at least?
Just say day by day, he's working hard to get better.
With Andrew, we know you spent basically the entire summer working and feeling good about what you had on the offensive line. I'm just curious, for a player of his caliber, how, in layman's terms, how much can that affect an entire offense when you put a player of Andrew's caliber at left tackle for what you want to do offensively?
Yeah, I'd say the guys that have been practicing, Hud and Bo, have been doing a very good job of playing their respective roles, and that's what you expect out of a team. Obviously, you want every one of your top players to be out there, and he's doing everything he can do at this point in time to keep improving. And the guys that are behind him on the depth chart are also doing a good job. But of course, you would love to have all your top guys out there.
With Bo, how is he coming along with that? Because he's obviously still learning a lot, but you sound like he's picking up things very well.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Carm and James, and give credit to the player. He's improves each day, has the right mindset, has some toughness about him. So developing well.
We were already yesterday, so you and Russ going to the field house together. Just curious, what were you guys doing? Just unusual.
We were talking. Good observation, Dan. Can't put one by you.
That's what the players do.
Yeah, did.
We saw the guys after practice, grouped up, talking some vociferously. What do you make about guys staying after practice, getting that extra work, kind of going over a lot of the stuff that, whatever it is that they're going
Yeah, they do that. They do that on a regular basis. Throughout training camp, whether it's routes, whether it's talk about particular things that happen. Good leadership amongst the players. That's what I like.
Is that rare, or is it a trait that shows up in teams that are more successful than others? What do you think about that?
I just think it's important to the guys that are out there, and whether it's a route technique, whether it's a combo coverage, whether it's a quarterback with the offensive line, I think that it's good for those guys if something's fresh in their mind. It's player-driven, and I think player-driven leadership is important.
You have more fiery personalities in that quarterback room than has been here for a long time. Do you think that's a good thing in that room to have a real vocal guy like Jameis, especially, and Russell to an extent?
I've been on teams with all different types of quarterbacks that have different personalities. I think the most important thing in that room is to, make sure you're prepared and each player has a different leadership style, and I encourage them to be themselves.
On that note, to elaborate more, do you usually coax it out of younger players to step up and be leaders in that way, or do you like for them to kind of show it on their own just from being around others?
Well, I think it's good if you have veteran leaders on your football team, guys that have gone out and done it, for a while, and I think we have a number of those players. That's what young players gravitate towards. Good examples of guys that have been in the league for a while or have performed at a high level, that not just inside the building or learning a system, but managing your daily habits and setting a standard for yourself. And I think those young guys are following right along with some of our older guys we got, and the young guys got to go out there and do it as well. But they're swimming a lot. Young guys are learning, moving to a new spot, learning a new system. Being the young guy, the new guy on the team. So the more veteran leaders you can have, I'd say that's good for your football team.
On that note, do you see that with Malik in particular, just kind of how he's being more vocal? Russ said he's being more vocal. Do you see that guys rubbing off him a little bit more, or is it? What do you see from that?
Yeah, Malik's one of our best players. So you love your best players to be, good leaders too. I think Neighbors has taken a step in this offseason in a positive way with his habits and how he does things outside the building, the way he takes care of his body, how he is in the meeting rooms, the communication he's had. Malik's done a nice job.
What did you see from Tyrone Tracy this summer?
Yeah.
It's sort of his first summer as a
Sure.
starter.
Young pro. Again, it's helpful with Motor in there with him. Motor's been around the block and the ultimate pro, and I think Tracy's really developed in that area as well, coming into his second year, much like Malik. On time, on top of his information, hard practicer. So he's made good steps, good strides.
2 more.
All good?
No more.
Thanks,
Obviously,
guys.
you don't want any brouhahas, but like in the
One more
next few
time. I don't
days,
want to what?
you don't want to get any trouble, any fights the next few days. Just with guys having so many days off, what's your message to the team on how they handle this
Sure.
little mini break and how they handle getting ready for the season at the same time with so many days off? And
Yeah,
going
we
there?
put a lot of time and effort into getting to this point and doing all the right things, whether it's the off-season program, the OTA practices. We've had a good training camp into the preseason. I had a number of individuals today speak to the team. Our head nutritionist, our head security, our head trainer, our head strength and conditioning coach. It's time to take a little break, but there's certain steps you have to take within these next 5 days to make sure you come back ready to go. And the basic message is be a pro, Jordan. Do things the right way.
What do you do this weekend?
Are you implementing the game plan a little bit today in today's practice?
We've spent a lot of time, I'm sure most coaches have in the off season, and I'd say for the staffs probably the last week I've been on it for a little bit. We've been focusing against each other. We're still going to practice against each other. This is kind of the last day we'll be able to do that for a while. That's what we're going to focus on, is continue to do the things that we need to do. We'll give them a couple little looks here and there, but this is the last, I'd say, competitive, good on good, if you will. Good on good practice.